Welcome to the Redmond School District Student Success Act update. In today's presentation, we'll provide clarity on the Student Success Act, learn about funding goals and parameters, and understand our role as school staff in providing feedback and input in prioritization of new resources. I'll get into the details of this new bill, what it means for us, and what our role is, but the real why behind the Student Success Act is to provide additional resources to close gaps, increase access and opportunities, and ensure each student achieves and succeeds in Redmond School District. In 2018, a committee of legislators spent the year traveling around the state, listening to students, teachers, administrators, parents, and community members, asking them what is working well in schools and what needs improvement. Legislators heard loud and clear that schools need additional funding to support students. As a result of the legislators' report, a bill was passed, and that will add a new tax on businesses in Oregon. The money from that tax can only be spent on education. The Student Success Act, House Bill 3427, will add a new tax on businesses in Oregon. The money from that tax can only be spent on education. The tax goes into effect January 1, and the funds will come from businesses that see at least $1 million in gross sales. The new tax will generate $1 billion a year for schools in Oregon. And again, the goal of the new tax is to better fund schools to support student success. Oregon now has the resources to make progress in advancing education equity. It's important to clarify that the money designated from this tax has a specific focus on student equity, meaning in addition to supporting all students, there is specific language in the law requiring districts to attend specifically to the needs of traditionally underserved students, students in poverty, students of color, students experiencing a disability, English language learners, foster children, and homeless children, for example. There are two broad but clearly stated purposes for Student Success Act funds. One, meet students' mental or behavioral health needs, and two, increase academic achievement, including reducing academic disparities for traditionally underserved students. So what does that mean for Redmond School District? Redmond School District, along with other districts in Oregon, will complete a grant application process to receive Student Success Act dollars. The grant application process has very specific requirements that we need to complete as a district in order to access the funds. Additionally, like all grants, we will, as a district, be required to identify district-level goals and make connections between how we spend the money and what outcomes we intend to get as a result. So how can the funds be spent? The House bill is very clear about how the money can be spent in order to achieve the results of equity for students. The guardrails are clearly lined out in 4 categories. Expanded instructional time. Examples include increasing days, summer programs, and before or after school programs. Student health and safety. Examples include social emotional learning, more school health professionals, or trauma-informed care. Reducing class size and caseloads. This may include identifying key areas within early learning, elementary, middle school, and/or high school to reduce class size and caseload. Well-rounded education. This may include additional programs or options such as art, music, PE, STEM, career and technical education, or electives of interest. These examples are simply ideas and are not an exhaustive list of what's possible. Requirements to access the funds. Before we can apply for the funds to spend in these 4 categories, districts need to complete a continuous improvement plan and a Student Success Act grant application process that includes these 3 steps. 1. Complete a district-wide needs assessment. 2. Develop a continuous improvement plan to address needs and clarify how SSA funds will change outcomes for targeted groups of students. And 3. Engage in audits and reviews on goal setting and outcomes with ODE. What we need from you. This is where we need specific action and support from all of you. We are now asking staff, students, parents, and community members to weigh in and provide feedback in 2 areas. 1. Needs. What are our greatest needs? We will all get a chance to weigh in the form of a needs assessment survey focused on the 5 key areas outlined in the law. Specifically, we will provide feedback on what's working well, what needs improvement, and what suggestions we have regarding reducing academic disparities, meeting student mental and behavioral health needs, providing a well-rounded education, including electives, options for advanced learning, STEM and CTE, allowing staff time to collaborate, review data, and discuss student growth and achievement, and the strength of our community partners and their impact in supporting students' achievement and well-being. The data from the needs assessment will be collected and analyzed to develop themes that we'll use to create an initial investment plan suggesting options of where SSA monies might be spent. The needs assessment survey will be live on October 18th and will close on November 1st at 5 p.m. 2. Investment plan. Where should we invest SSA monies to best address our greatest needs? In December and January, staff, parents, students, and community members will get a chance to weigh in on how SSA investment funds might be used to address priority needs that were identified during our initial survey. Your input from a second survey, along with input from other stakeholders, will be used to develop a student investment grant plan. The school board has the responsibility to approve this investment plan as part of a comprehensive budget process. The plan will then be submitted to ODE for approval. The district will have access to funds beginning in the 2021 school year. A SurveyMonkey link will be sent via email on October 18th so your voice can be heard in the needs assessment. As you take the survey, please remember the focus is on equity of student success and what you believe are the biggest challenges for students, as well as your suggestions to address them at scale in our schools. Thank you so much for your time. Your input in this process is vital to the success of our students and to our community.